You know, the fact is, we've discovered that on this channel, turns out a lot of major media folks are fans. And so, because it turns out that Chris Licht is most likely watching, I just wanted to pass along my condolences. For those of you that don't know, uh, Chris Licht was the CEO, the boss man over at CNN. He's the guy that was responsible for um, for turning CNN towards the right in an attempt to capture Fox News's audience. Now, if you don't follow American media, turning towards the right doesn't mean inviting more right-leaning guests on. It means lying to your audience, being willing to make criminals seem like reasonable people. It's doing PR work for traitors to the country. That's what making your network a right-wing friendly place means in 2023. And Chris Licht was doing that at CNN. I'm using the past tense because today we found out, after the disastrous town hall with Trump, you know, the guy that tried a coup that we were pretending was a normal presidential candidate, and a series of other just reputation destroying moves. After all of that, under Chris Licht's watch, he's been fired. He's outskies. Ha ha! In other words, in a way Cenk Uygur would appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Let's look at this reporting on CNN's business from CNN Business. Oh, hard pass on whatever advertisement that was. This is from Oliver Darcy, the new king of SaaS over at CNN Business. CNN chairman and CEO Chris Licht is outskis, says Darcy, in those exact words. Chris Licht, the embattled. Imagine getting to write about your former boss in these words. Oh, it's delicious. I love it. Chris Licht, the embattled chief executive and chairman of CNN, whose brief 1-year tenure at the network was sustained by a was stained by a series of severe missteps, which he links to, will depart the company. I met with Chris, and he will be leaving CNN. David Zaslav, the chief executive of parent company Warner Brothers Discovery, told CNN employees at the start of the network's daily editorial call on Wednesday. So Oliver Darcy's there, getting his editorial call and taking notes for the article he's going to write in about 5 minutes. Licht's departure, which came days after a devastating 15,000 word profile in The Atlantic, capped a tumultuous year for CNN, marked by layoffs, historically low ratings, and rock bottom employee morale. Folks, this ain't just the news. It's refreshing because it's also the tea. Ooh! Ooh! Rock bottom employee morale. It's not fun to work for the bad guys. Look at any Bond movie. The henchmen don't have a good time. In the wake of the Atlantic article, Licht apologized to staffers Monday, telling the global news organization in a somber tone that he did not recognize himself when reading portions of the story and that he was sorry for having distracted from the newsroom's work. Because he is a see you next Tuesday. Licht, who described the experience as tremendously humbling, vowed to fight like hell to win over the trust of employees. Don't bother, 'cause you're outskies. They ain't your co-workers no more, Licht. But it became increasingly clear that Licht's tenure as the chief executive was quickly coming to an end. Licht has not commented on his departure, and he did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So CNN Business called up CNN proper and said, hey, former boss, real quick, how do you feel about getting fired, you punk I mean, ooh, I love it. Oh, God. Zaslav said Licht's job was never going to be easy and praised the amazing career he has had. Well, that's not true. It wasn't an amazing career. And thank Christ it's past tense. Wishing him well on his future endeavors in hell. For a number of reasons, things didn't work out, and that's unfortunate, Zaslav said. It's really unfortunate. And ultimately, that's on me. And I take full responsibility for that, says Zaslav, as in, I shouldn't have hired him. Zaslav told CNN employees that the company is in the process of conducting a wide search, both internally and externally, for a new network chief. He cautioned that it will take a while. You know, look, here's the wild thing. I bet they're going to find over at CNN that you don't really need that position filled. Oh, they'll do it. Sure. You do get a certain comfort in being able to say, this is the top person at the company. But when you make that much money, when you're compensated that much for your work, the wild thing is it usually ends up that you don't do all that much work. And they won't, but I hope they consider this. If it's going to take a while to replace somebody that is generally paid millions to do what they do, did you really need them in the first place? Maybe. Maybe not. Regardless, I'll tell you this. You couldn't do CNN without the folks that run the cameras. You couldn't do CNN without the folks that run the software. I'll tell you what, you couldn't do CNN without the folks that run the website. You couldn't do CNN without the people that find the news. You couldn't do CNN without the folks that report the news. You couldn't do CNN without the folks that pick up the trash at the end of the day and unclog the toilets and fix the wiring. But you sure can do CNN without Chris Licht. And you can do it a hell of a lot better. That is why I'm going to end, as of today, I'm going to end my moratorium on CNN being used as a source here. And I'm going to start with this article with CNN Business. You love to see it. I suppose, for just Chris Licht, I have one final message. No one here can love or understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all handed me. Pack up all your cares and woes. There you go, singing low. Bye, bye, douchebag. Folks, thank you so much. I'll see you at the live show.